the docket tonight, a retired Army Reserve captain who was exposed to burn pits while serving in Iraq is taking his case to the U.S. Supreme Court next week.
This particular case, the Torres versus Department of Public Safety, Texas, is groundbreaking because it created a precedent which forces states to observe and to comply with federal employment and reemployment rights for members of the Reserve and the Guard.
I was exposed in 07, 08 during my deployment to Balad, Iraq. And now for the last 13 years, I've been suffering from a lung injury. I was diagnosed with constrictive bronchiolitis with fibrosis, as well as 2018 with a toxic encephalopathy, which is a brain injury. This is what has been a high cost to pay from the price of war.
The fumes of burn pits debilitated him. That debilitation in his lungs forced him to leave his service as an on-the-road Texas Department of Public Safety state trooper. He trusted that the government would take care of him. The state of Texas government did not.
As it stands right now, there are service members that live and work in some states that have the right to sue their employers, which are states or state agencies, and then there are some in other states like Leroy that don't have that right. And we're simply asking the Supreme Court to level the playing field.
It was a close vote, but everything's a close vote these days, and we were successful and were able to come back down and try the case.
Brian Lawler, himself a Marine Corps officer, he fought the state of Texas for some 5 years to get this case to the Supreme Court, a 1 in 100 chance of writing the amicus briefs. Without Brian Lawler, this case would not have gone to the Supreme Court, and we would not have the victory that's going to make a big difference for veterans.
I remember Colonel Lawler just having that esprit de corps that, like, hey, look, this is a deposition. They're going to go after you. Like, worst case scenario. And he was just like, look, we need to, like, look at me. We need to really focus. This is your mission.
Brian's plan won the day because it was his understanding of the law that really shone out during the jury instructions. And it was just so obvious the other side, they couldn't even create an argument against what he was saying. It was that devastating to them.
Last Friday, a Texas jury awarded nearly $2.5 million to a former Texas state trooper.
I'll forever be grateful for Colonel Lawler. You have this Army veteran who's broken and going through so much. He equipped me for one of the greatest fights, I believe, in legal history for a veteran.